In this video, we're going to go through Learning Target 1.2.5, which talks about writing linear inequalities given a scenario. So this scenario says, Sally sells her seashells for 75 cents each. She wants to make more than $10. Write an inequality to determine the number of seashells she must sell. So the first thing I notice is that it says write an inequality. And an inequality means that it's not going to be an equal sign. So this means my choices are less than or equal to, greater than, or greater than or equal to. And that's incredibly important because that's kind of your one clue to know whether it's an equation or an inequality. And you need to make sure that you know, because if you write it with an equation, that's not what it's asking. Your other clue is kind of the wording as we go through this. And so the first thing I look for is the total, and then I work backwards from there. So I always put my total on the right because that makes the most logical sense to me. And so this says she's selling seashells for 75 cents each, and she wants to make more than $10. Well, $10 is the total, and so I'm going to put that on the right. And what I'm saying is that whatever is over here on the left needs to be more than $10. And that's another indication that it's not an equal sign. If it would have been an equal sign, it would have said she wanted to make $10. So more than $10, I want to decide which of these inequalities makes the most sense for that. And right off the bat, I know that it's not going to be the less than ones. But then I have to decide if it's going to be a greater than or equal to, and that's kind of a little bit harder. So this says she wants to make more than $10. And if I asked you for a number that was more than 10, we would probably start counting with 11 or 12 or 13. More than 10 really signifies that 10 is not an option. We need to have something that's bigger than that, greater than that. So I would say the thing that makes the most sense would be a greater than symbol. So I'm going to use greater than. Then I want to figure out, well, what's going to be greater than 10? What's actually going on? And that's the seashells that she's selling. And so we have seashells for 75 cents each. Well, I don't know how many seashells she's selling. I do want to give a variable to this, so I'm going to use X for seashells. You can use an S if you would like, but my S's typically look like 5s, especially when I'm trying to write on one of these apps. So I'm going to use an X. And so we have 75 cents per seashell, and I don't know how many those are, so I have to have a variable, and so 75 cents X. And nothing else is going on. She doesn't have a starting cost or anything like that, or didn't have any extra money. So we just have 75 cents X. Needs to be more than $10. And I always kind of triple check and walk through that like I just did so that we can make sure it makes sense with the story. And this one does, so we are good.